Hi, hello. We are live. Can you guys confirm that we are live? You can guys see me. Then I'll move forward with the yesterday what we studied. Yes, yes. Hi Shubham, hi Suraj, hi everyone. Okay, great. I'll share my screen. Okay. So my screen is shared now. Okay, so today our basic topic is, that is arrays. We're going to learn arrays, but before that arrays, I'm going to start I'll cover few bits of, that loops, and I'll go forward fast, and then I'll move forward with arrays. We'll see with arrays, we'll try to see if insertion, how to do insertion, in an array, or like normally solving question, all those stuffs. We'll see how pointer is related to array. We'll see that also. Okay, great. So moving forward, that is what yesterday we left there, this operate, okay, not loops. First of all, I have to cover the conditions. So there are two conditions are there: if statement and and else statement. So if else, like it works together. So you heard of nested if else and all those stuff. So if statement is like, you will be using this if statement and else statement, correct? So what is there is, if statement, it executes only when it is true. So suppose, say, if if I go to Delhi tomorrow, then tomorrow I'll not take class, else I'll take class. So that is the use, like if else works together. If the statement doesn't work, then else will be working. So these are the few things are there. Suppose here example, on syntax, the main grammar of that is, we write if and the condition in it. How it's defined. So suppose example, if 7 is greater than 4, if 7 is greater than 4, print out yes, else print out false, or whatever, no, whatever. So if is the keyword we use, then after, inside that brackets we write what condition. So this is the one thing, if else conditions, correct? So that thing will be seen. So relational, these things will be using. I'll be talking about this thing at there in the code only, like what is greater than, less than. Similarly, I talked about double equals to means what, this is equals to in what, programming. So 7 equals to 4, no, this is not assignment. This is what equals to, this is assignment. Okay, now moving forward to else statement. Everyone can hear me, right? Okay, great. All right. Hi everyone, so moving forward, so we'll see if else, like how if else working in the code. We'll see that. Okay, the nested if else statement is there. Like, I'll try to cover everything fast. So today we'll start with, these are the C++ things, basically DSA. This essentially is for DSA. So I'll cover fast. Then we'll start with arrays. We'll see lots of cool stuffs with arrays and pointers. Okay, so what is this is, nested if else. It means inside if some another, when you write another if, no, that is what nested. Are you guys getting it? So that is the thing. So that is what nested if else. Okay, okay, now moving forward to it, moving forward. Okay, so there is another concept, that is loops are there in programming. Every programming language have loops kind of stuff. Loop means what? Basically, suppose I want to print, suppose hello world in the, suppose I open the compiler. Suppose I want to print hello world. Okay, so what I have to do? Suppose I want to print this hello world. Okay, so what I need to do? I'll run it. It will print one. Suppose I want to print 5 times. Suppose I want to print 5 times. That is feasible. Like, I'll just copy paste it. And it will, this hello world is printing. Suppose I want to print 100 times hello world. So, like, is it feasible? I have to print this, like, 100 times. So there comes the concept of loop. So here you can using for loop, like you will be starting for loop, or you can use while loop or do while loop. Those loops are there to solve that problem, like repetitive task. So don't have to write every time. So that is what is for loop is. Like loop is basically to execute the similar task again and again. That loop does that work. Okay. So there are 2 3 types of loops, by you can you solve loop problem, that is by for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So for the for loop, what is the syntax is basically you do initialization, then you give conditions, then you update it. Like for initialization you may write int I equals to 0, that you're initializing I with 0. I is what iterating variable. So this thing will, when we write the code, we'll see that thing also. I will try to explain that also. And like what is the difference between different types of loops are there, right? For loop, while loop, do while loop. So these are the same things what has happened. So it is like different syntax is there basically. So for while loop you write while keyword and then condition. So before while, here you write the initialization, and inside the code you do the updation, correct? But for loop, within this this bracket, you just do all the things: initialization, condition, update, checking. These 3 things you do, correct? So if I go through the flow chart of it, so this is the thing: initialization we will be doing, correct? Then will checking, this is the condition test expression. If it is true, then it will move to the next thing. If it is false, then it will end the statement. So this is basically what loop, how loop works, correct? Similarly, while do while loop also, it will check for the condition. If it is not, then if it is false, it will end the, if it is true, then it will continue in the loop, correct? So that is the thing for looping. Okay, great. So there are 2 things also there, continue and break. So this when I'll okay, I'll let you know this right now only. So we call it jumps in a loop. Basically we use continue and break. These are the 2 keywords. These are generally keywords. Okay, so continue statement is used to when you want to skip that, so that time you use continue. Suppose you want to don't like after execution and that thing, so you want to skip to the next iteration. So there we use continue. And while you use break statement, I'll use this in the code. I'll use this in the code. So that time you'll get understand that why we are using. So break statement is to, like, we want to get out of that loop. We want to terminate this loop. After this condition is covered, I want to get out of the loop and just print it. So that is there break is used. So these are the C++ stuffs. These are not DSA stuff. So if you have studied, so that like you, if you have gone through it, so you could have like right now what I'm telling you could understand. Okay, otherwise you can go learn the C++, then you see the DSA program. So that will be very grateful to you. So what is that? Now there is what functions. Now I going to use function also. Functions is what basically to do some task, some particular task will be there, so that we going to do, that is going to done by function. So generally take one example. So give analogy of it. That is what when you go to a restaurant. So yesterday I was talking about main function, if you guys remember. Main function, we didn't write other functions. So when I'm talking about main function, I'll try to analyze and like give analogy today. So that is what, when you go to restaurant, when you go to restaurant, you go there and there is lots of people are there. Chef is there, then waiter is there, cashier is there. So everyone has their different functionalities. Chef will do the cooking, then cashier will collect the cash, and main function is what, that restaurant, that is the main. And those are what inside that in restaurant people are be there, so they have different functionalities. So those are what helping function, you can say. So that is what yesterday I was talking about, this main function. So you could relate main function with what, with the restaurant. And other function whatever we are writing here, suppose here I'll be creating void chef, or like whatever the function I'll be creating, they have their task. So compiler doesn't know, right, what are their tasks. In reality, we know that chef will do cooking, correct, but compiler doesn't know. That's why what we do, we just define everything. Whatever the things is there, we just define it, correct. So that is the thing. Okay, great. Now moving forward to it, how we define function, we write the return type, function name, and we give the data type of the parameter. So that is what, this is what declaration. So when we why we do declaration, so three things are there: function declaration, function definition, and function calling. Okay, what I said, when you go to restaurant, if you go and sit there, no one will know that what you want to order. So what you call that chef, or you not chef, you call the waiter that I want to order this, right? Similarly, here in coding also, we'll call the function to start its work. Otherwise, it will not work. If you write function in a code and you don't call it, it will not do the work. Okay, so that is there. If chef is there and no one wants to order, so will he make the food? No. Similarly, same thing happens in programming also. Until unless we call that function, calling function means what? Start, like until we command that start the work, correct? So it will not start. So what is there? Two things are there: predefined function and user defined. We'll do user defined function, that is defined by ourselves. We'll be defining. Predefined functions are what? That is already defined. Predefined functions are, the main function is already defined. Cout is a function, correct, that is already defined in the its functionality is what? Printing. Cin is there, that is functionality what? Taking input from the user. That is what cin is. Okay, these are the things. Okay, great. Okay, moving forward. All right. Now we move forward with arrays and pointers. So that is the end of the whatever the things is there. Now we move forward with, so what is the page number I have to jump to? 127. So 127, if I jump, so here starts the array. So you guys can confirm, you guys getting it? Yes. Good evening, Bharat, everyone, good evening. All right, great. So we'll be starting with what? Arrays. So array is what? Array is a data structure. It basically do what? It stores values. It stores what? Array is a data structure that store values in it. What is the work of array? Suppose you there in a school, correct, and there are hundreds of thousands of people are there, and you want to store all the marks for different subjects. So can you imagine how many variables will be created if on one variable contains one value only? Suppose marks 1 take 90 only, it cannot take other numbers, correct? So if there are 1,000 people are there in the class, so can you imagine how many variables you have to take? So isn't it a problem? To solve that problem, no, this arrays concept came in. Otherwise, what you have to do, if you want to store the marks of 100 students, so there will be different subjects also, mathematics, physics, chemistry, every subjects will be there, isn't it? So if there is 100 students are there, then 100 for physics, for particular, every person you have to create 100 variables for that, isn't it? So that's an issue, because we will not remember what is the variable name we have given to that storing that marks and everything, correct? So there is the concept come of what? Arrays. In array, when you create an array, it means what? You create a series, like you give a space to the memory, you space in the RAM, you get space in the RAM. What happens there is, you can store multiple numbers. In variable, what we saw, in variable we can store only one number, but in an array you can store multiple numbers. Getting it? You can store multiple numbers. We'll see how to store, how to take input from the user, how to print everything, how to traverse an array. how to take input from the user, how to run the for loop, and how to do, we'll see everything today. Right now, I'll go forward with the code right now. Right now, I'm going through the basics of arrays. Why arrays use, correct? So one thing is arrays size cannot be changed. Like if you created array like statically, you cannot change the size of the array, correct? So that is the property of the array. So what is the definition we can say? Array is a data structure that store collection of values, of the same data type and stored in continuous memory location. So we'll go one by one. So array is a data structure. Okay, great. That stores collection of values that we see. It is storing 7, 9, 4, 5. It can store thousands of values, 10,000s of values, lots of values. Like if you create one array and you give the size, okay. And what the second thing is, which is of same data type. Yesterday we talked about data type, right? That can be integer. Right here, right now, what is that? Integer. Right now, what is that? Integer is there. So same data type means what? Here 7 is there. Here I cannot write 9.1 or 4.2 because that will be of what? Data type of float. That is of data type of what? That is of data type of decimals, correct? So if you're storing decimal, you have to store decimal only. If you're storing, like you can, analogy with if you have bucket, no. If you're storing water in it, it has to be water. You cannot put water and oil together. No, you can't, correct? So that is the property of an array, okay? So if you are putting oil, you have to put oil only. So similarly, if you are putting only, integers, you have to put integers only. If you are putting decimal numbers, that is float or double, you have to put that. If you want to store strings, then you have to do that only. So that is the what property of an array. Basically, we deal with what? Integers. So we basically take the integer. Now, next is what? Stored in continuous memory locations. Continuous memory locations means what? Arrays. So this, suppose I have created an array, writing as int arr, array name as arr. I'll show you what is the syntax of creating an array, correct? So before that, what is this continuous memory locations means is, so suppose I created an array. So suppose this is the, first position. Suppose this is the address that is given in an, RAM. So suppose this is 1024. So next will be, definitely will be 1028. Why? Because integer takes 4 bytes of memory. Because integer will take 4 bytes of memory. It means 7 will something be looking like this. If it is 1024 here, it is 1025, 1026, 1027, then 1028, 4 bytes, right? Because int data type takes how many bytes? 4 bytes, okay? So that's why it will be something looking internally. Right now I've given one block. Otherwise I could have, if I given 4 blocks, that could have, messed up the things. That's why one block. But inside, how it would be looking? Like this. Inside the memory, it would be looking something like this. It means if I say, suppose this is 1024, then 1024, 1025, 1026, 1027, then 1028 next will be starting. So it will never happen. What is continuous memory allocation means what? 1024, 1028 need to be there. 1028 here, what will be there? 1032, because 4 bytes again it will take. 1036, 1040, correct? So this is the what? Continuous memory allocation. When you study linked list, no, that time you find it. So there is no concept of continuous memory allocations in the linked list. So this, their linked list have, random memory is given, like random memory address is given. But in arrays properties, what? Continuous. If 7 is entered here, 9 will always be entered in 1028. 4 will, you cannot give space here, like you are not writing this one, and after 9 you are skipping this space and you are giving 5 value here. No, you can't do it. So that is what array is. Okay, everyone with me? Yes, class timing is class timing is 8 from 8 to 9 we're going to study, correct? So today's topic is, yes, yes, Rishi, store similar data types values. Okay, great, Sita. Okay, great. Moving forward, so how to define an array? Like, okay, one more thing I forgot to say, that is, this is what index, this is index. So arrays index start from 0. Remember this thing, arrays index start from 0. It means what, whenever we define an array, its first index is 0. It means 0th place, 0th index, second index, third, fourth, fifth. So what is the size of the array here? 5 size. If you see 1 2 3 4 5, 5 size, but its index starting from where? 0 1 2 3 4. So what observation you can see is, size of the array is 5, but last index, like, last index is 4, that is size minus 1, isn't it? So what conclusion we can take out is, if an array has n elements, then array will have n minus 1 indexes. Why? Because array's index start from 0. If it is starting from 0, it is covering one place, right? So if it is size is n, then last index will be what? N minus 1. So you have to remember this thing, correct? Okay, moving forward, going forward, how to like, how do we used to declare an normal variable? We should write data type and that variable. So this is declaration of normal variable, right? And we used to do initialization, int a, assigning operator, then 10. It means a will store value 10. So this is, a can store only one value, but in array we can store lots of values, lots of values. Okay, we'll move forward and we'll see how to do these things, like, how array is defined. We write data type. Similarly, int, float, double, this kind of stuff we write, correct? Then array name, you can write anything, but generally we'll take arr or marks, whatever relevant to it, whatever we are writing relevant to it, we'll write that. Okay, and how do we do initialize? And we write the square bracket. For array we write this square. This is what declaration of an array. Okay, we declare. But if you want to initialize with some values, we'll write in curly brackets and it will be written. Element 1 means 1 2 3 4 5 6, whatever. So how? If you want to do declaration, int marks equals to marks 4, it means this is a array name is what? Marks. It's of arrays of what? Data type integer, and it has how it's a, what is the size of it? Size is 4, correct? And if I want to do initialization, how I'll write? I'll do assignment operator, then I'll give curly braces, and inside that I'll write the values of it. So can you go forward, and how to print, and access the elements in an array and all this stuff? Can you go forward, and start doing it? Okay. Okay, one more thing I'll explain, then I'll you guys will let you know, like, why I'm saying that pointers is related to array. So one thing is, C++ interprets array name as the address of the first element. It means if I directly say na cout marks, it will print the address of third, it will print address, it will not print this array. But when this is star operator is what? Dereference. So these things will know if you have studied about pointers and bit, or in C++ you studied, so you will know. So I'll tell you this thing also. This star is also called as dereference. It means what? It gives the value. What is the address of 3? Address of 3 is what? 1024. Suppose 1024, I'm taking it for 1024. Some hexadecimal values will be there in the RAM, correct? So we'll see that how array address is coming out. What is the index of it? 0th index. But if I dereference this address, no, marks will print what? If I do cout marks, it will what it is said? C++ interprets array name as the address of the first element. It means if I print marks, it will print this 1024. If I do cout marks, it will print 1024. If I do dereference of mark, it means it is telling, ऐसा बोल रहा है कि 1024 में क्या वैल्यू पड़ा वो बताओ. dereference मतलब ये है marks का, मतलब उस एड्रेस में क्या पड़ा है ये बताओ. Are you guys getting it? So that time it will print what? Value So this thing we will see. This thing we will see. Okay. Okay, great. Yes, correct. Thank you, Sita. Thank you. Okay. So moving forward, we'll just implement, we'll see how array is working. We'll see how array is working. Then we'll see insertion and all these things. We'll see also in an array. Suppose we want to enter element in an array. So this is what? Array. Array traversals, traversals, array traversals, then what we can say, taking input and everything will do. Okay, here. Okay, great. This is what commenting. I did comment. Okay, this is the basic template of it. Now what I have to do? What I have to do in the main function? I'll be suppose declaring an array of size. Some size I'll be declaring. Suppose I'll write int. Suppose I write it as marks. Suppose I define an array of marks. This is how declaration is done. Suppose I give 8. So what is this means what? I have declared an array of size 8 and it is of type marks. Array name is what? Marks, and it is of integer type. And what is, how many elements are there? 8 elements will be there because array size is 8. Correct? So this is what? Declaration of an array. Now I'll say that suppose print out, suppose we want to take input from the user and print the things, suppose. So see out, I'll say see out, enter the marks. I'm saying that I could have directly taken, here without, seeing, doing stuffs, but I will be covering that thing also. So you'll get that part also. So suppose I say enter the marks. Okay. And I'll do end L. So I say enter the marks and I said end L. Now I want to store whatever the value is coming in the array, and we want to get it input from the user. So how to do it? That thing. How to do that thing? We'll run a for loop. We'll run a for loop for that. So inside that for loop, we'll define the range of it from where we are starting and where we are ending. How many elements are there? 8, right? So 8 till 7 it will run. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 indexes will be there. So all 8 marks will be inputting, and that will be taking from the user. Okay, not we are directly writing it here, not we are directly giving the value here. We'll take input from the user and after that we'll print it out. So I'll run a for loop. This is for what? This for loop is for storing the marks in the array. How to store in an array, how to store value in an array, we are trying to see that. So what I'll writing, I'll give the data type and I'll take variable, iterating variable as I, and array is index start from 0. So I want to enter what, from 0. Okay, now what I'll do, I less than 8 till 8 I'll enter the value, and what I'll do, I'll what, update it. Correct? So this is the thing, because I have to go to index 0, then 1. After I fill 0th index, then I have to go 1, then 2, then 3. Every I have to fill, right? So that I++ will get me moving forward to it. Okay. Then what I have to do? Taking input from the user. See in what? Marks. Because we want to enter where? In this marks, correct? See in marks, I. Because I is the iterating variable, correct? Now, if I run this one, it's saying enter the marks. Enter the mark. Suppose I am entering 89. Someone got, suppose I am entering values, that is code in physics subject, correct? So how many marks will be entering? 8, correct? Suppose 89 I entered, then it is saying again enter the marks. 85, enter. Suppose someone got 98. Okay, enter. Okay, great. It is still continuing because till 8, how many numbers we are storing in? So these are what storing in an array. So someone got 65 also, suppose, enter. Someone got 25 also, enter. How many we entered? 3 to 5. Okay, someone got 86 also. Okay, enter. Someone got 29 also, that is enter. So 3, 3, 6, 7 we already entered. 79, someone got 79. Now you see it what finishes the program. These are the what we entered it. But how to know that these are things got stored in the? तुम तो ऐसा बोलोगे सर ये तो आपने मजाक कर दिया. क्या मजाक कर रहे हो सर? हमने एंटर तो कर दिया बट कहाँ दिख रहा है? ये तो तुमने खुद लिखा है इसलिए बोल रहे हो कि यार ये एंटर हुआ कहाँ एंटर? Where like it didn't entered in, like this is we just gave input from the user that I printed from. I given input from my keyboard, correct? So where is the output? Where is the output? No output is there. It is stored. It is stored in the array, but we are only we stored, correct? We didn't print it. So for that also, what I have to do? I have to print, right? So for that printing, suppose I want to see these are the elements got entered in the array. We already stored it, but बोलोगे कैसे पता मेरे को? तो कैसे पता करेंगे कि स्टोर हुआ कि नहीं? So we'll run a, suppose I will write marks, the stored marks are, फिर मैं एंडल लिख दूंगा. Then here I'll again run a for loop. And here what I'll do, and I'll take one iterating variable as j, suppose j equals to 0. Okay, and what I'll do, till where I'll run this, j is less than 8 because 8 elements are there in the array, correct? Then what I'll do, j plus plus. And what I have to do this time? I have to print all the elements what is there in the array. This is what? Storing the elements in an array. This is what? Storing the elements in an array. Okay. This one is what? This one is what? Printing elements in an array. How to print? For printing we use what? Cout, isn't it? So cout, what is the name of the array? Marks. We went to marks. And what is the iterating variable we using? J, correct? I'll end the statement here. So this should print the array. This is one, this is for storing, this is for printing the array. Now if I run it, you will see the differences. Before writing this one, only this thing and it ended. So these values were given by me from the keyboard. Now we have to see whether it is stored or not. So that's why we are writing this one, correct? So if I run the code, again it's saying the enter the mark. Suppose 85, I'll enter 96, enter 85, enter 80, 94, enter 47, enter 52, enter 97, enter. अभी भी है क्या 25, एंटर द स्टोर्ड मार्क्स. ये क्या हो गया? ये सर आपने क्या प्रिंट कर दिया? ये तो कुछ गड़बड़ लग रहा है, ये तो हमको पता ही नहीं. गाइस ये क्या प्रिंट कर दिया? 8555. ये तो हमने, this is what we not stored, correct? So what is the thing happening? 85, 96, 95, all are printing, but one mistake we did. Not mistake, we didn't give space between them. So we'll give what? Space here. How to give space? We'll write this. So this is what? Space. Now if I run, now it will, okay, अब फिर से देना पड़ेगा. ये दो, ये Okay, now you see, now our desired output comes in, correct? So, we can use endl or slash n, but we'll give space to it. So that's, we don't want to get, because if I give endl, no, so this will become like, it will coming like this. It will coming like this. But we want to show it in like array format. So we'll give space to it, correct? So it will go like this. Are you guys getting it? So this is the thing for an array. Do you guys have any? Yes. Do you guys have any doubt? Do you guys have any doubt regarding this? Otherwise, we move forward. We move forward to it. Otherwise, okay. One thing I want to show you. One thing I want to show you. That is here. What I said. If you guys remember here, what I said in C++, if I print array name, so that will print what? That will print what? First address of that element. So I'll cover this one also. So this is what? Storing that, you know, right? So this is one part we learned. Okay, I'll just comment it out. I'll just comment it out, this one, and I'll try to show that one also. What is mean by that? So you guys will get understand the thing. Okay, I multiple comment I used, and suppose here I am defining another array. Suppose int arr. Suppose I am giving array name as arr, and here I am writing it as 67, 89. So this is directly giving from, like, in the, we cannot change it, right? We are not taking input from the user, directly giving value, correct? 78. So this is, suppose this array of size 5 I've defined. You can write 5 here also. If you don't write also, that is fine. If you don't write, that is also fine. So what I said here, if this is there and if I do C out of marks, it will print, it is printing what? 1024. It is printing address. It is printing what? Address. But when I do dereference of it, so that is what pointer is. Pointer is what? Pointer is a pointer stores, normal variable stores what? Values, x, y, z, whatever the variable name we are using, that store what? Values. Pointer stores what? Addresses. Pointer stores what? Addresses. That's why array and pointer are very closely related. Okay, I'll move forward, go forward here, and if I suppose do C out, suppose I want to see what it is printing array. Suppose I do this one, C out arr, because array name. So it should not print this array. It should not print this array. If see what it is printing, it is printing some address. Here what we use, what we are taking? We are taking 1024. So what is it? This hexadecimal element, that is like this, whatever the address of this array is given in the this compiler, that address is coming out. Now what I said, if I dereference it, if I dereference that arr, means what? By star. This is star operator is called what? Dereference. If I dereference it, it means what? What I said here, C++ interprets an array name as the address of the first element. If I dereference it, it means it should give value 3, not 4. Like it should give value what? Not 3. It should give value 67, not 89, because arr represent, this is the address of first element. It means this is the address of 67. So how to know its value? It's the address. तो तुम लोग बोलोगे सर कैसे पता, ये कैसे बोल रहे हो कि ये 67 का ही एड्रेस है? ये तो इसका भी 68 का भी तो एड्रेस हो सकता है ना, इस 78 का भी तो एड्रेस हो सकता है ना. तो मैंने बोला कि एक काम करो, डी रेफरेंस लगा दो, फिर पता चल जाएगा ये एरे पे, तब पता चल जाएगा. देखो, इफ आई रन इट, if I comment this one, and if I dereference it and run it, it is giving value what? 67. Now if this is arr, This is what? ARR plus 1, isn't it? If this is ARR, see out. If this is ARR, this is ARR plus 1, this is ARR plus 2, isn't it? One place, अगर ये एड्रेस 1024 है तो ये 1028 ही है ना, ये तो हमने देखा यहाँ पर. ये अगर 1024 है तो ये 1028. इट मीन्स वाई प्लस 1? बिकॉज इट्स ऑफ integer. Integer means what? Plus 4. Plus 1 means what? When I am writing plus 1, it means plus 4 because it's of integer type. 4 bytes it will be taking. So if I do here ARR of plus 1, it means it will print the address of 89. And if I dereference it here, if I dereference it here, it means it should print the value 89. It means what? See, no space is there, so that's why it is coming in that way. We'll give space to it. Now this line is printing 67 because we know array, this is array ARR, print what? Address. We comment it out, correct? So if you dereference it, that will give value as 67. And if I do ARR plus 2, what will happen? Plus 2 means what? 2 into 4, 8. 8 bytes going forward because it's of integer type. So it will print 68. So 67, 68, correct? This is plus 3, isn't it? Plus 4, right? So similarly, same thing. So this is what we learn in pointers also. Are you guys getting it? This is the thing we learn in pointers also. And that's why what I said, it is related to what? It is related to pointers. Array is related to pointers. Okay, I'll just paste this here. So now this is comment down. Okay, this thing is done. So relation, what I'll write? Relation between array and pointer. This is what we studied. Now what we'll do, can we insert an element in an array? Yes, we can. We can insert an element. We'll see that how to. So okay, how to insert. So these are the things with arrays and pointers. Okay, that is covered. So can we insert an element in an array? Yes, definitely we can insert an element in an array. How to suppose 3, 4, 5, 7 is there, and I want to insert element between 3 and 4. Suppose I want to insert element between 3 and 4. So how to write it? Correct? So we will write that program for that. Are you guys getting it? We'll be taking input from the user. Correct? We'll be taking input from the user. And what we'll be doing? We'll be taking input from the user and we'll give the value here. So we saw the traversing what? Printing the elements in an array. Traversing what? 3, 4, 5, 7. We already saw that here. Storing also we saw. This is what printing is basically traversing. We saw the relation between pointers and an array. Now, can we enter elements in an array? Between, suppose this is the array, 67, 89, 68. This is the array, correct? Suppose I want to enter the element here. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Are you guys getting it? So, how to do it? Let's see. Suppose I want to enter some value between here, and here. So what is the logic basically we'll be doing is, if I want to enter the elements here, okay, all right. So okay, great. So suppose this is the array 3, 6, 8, 9, 9 5. Suppose I want to insert element in this, one index. I want to insert one element in the one index. So what is the logic basically we use is we just shift the element to the what, right side. We shift the elements when you want to enter the element in this position. We'll do what? We'll shift the elements to the right side. It means I'll shift 5 to the fifth index, 3 to this index, 8 to this index. So this will be free and will. Why you will say that why will cannot shift to the right side? Because right side place ही नहीं है ना. 0th index इससे पहले तो कोई space ही नहीं है. We'll get space afterwards because array it's a continuous memory allocation. If it is filled, it means previous element is filled. So that is what the definition of an array is. Correct. So that we have to shift to the right side. So what we'll do, we'll start shifting from where? We'll start shifting from the last element. We'll start shifting from the last element, whatever the size of the array. From there, we will going to shift the array. Okay. Shift the elements of an array. Correct. So what I will do, I'll move this element to here and this element to here, this element to here. So this, suppose I want to enter 10 here. So it will get bracket and I'll put the value to it. So what I have to do? I have to initialize value where? The size of the array, last element of the array. If size is 5, so I have to initialize from size. And by decrementing it, we're going to shift the elements, because this is 4, this is 3. We want to come to here, right? And it will be starting from where? We're going to shift from here. We cannot start shifting from here, correct? Because it's already filled there, isn't it? So what we will be doing is we'll be starting from here. You can do this way also. You will assign this value. It can also be done. It can also be done in that way also. But we'll seeing this by this way. Like we'll start from here and we'll just go decrementing. So we'll see the I minus operator also. Like here decrementing operator also we'll see. So that's why I'm trying to take this example. So what will be the logic? This will be the logic. This is what? Shifting the array of I index to array of I minus 1. It means for shifting to the right side. If this is array of what? I. If this is array of I, this is array of I plus 1, isn't it? If this is array of I, this is array of I plus 1. Or you can say if this is array of I minus 1, this is array of I. एक कदम ही तो आगे है, एक प्लेस ही तो आगे है. So basically we are assigning this value. Error of I minus 1 means suppose this one. Suppose I is here 1, correct? So this 6 value is given to ARR of I. This value is given to this. And after that, at the last, whatever the elements we are taking from the user that we want to enter, so this place will be bracket and we'll just enter the value here. Are you guys getting it? So this is the thing. So can you go forward and just write it? Can you go forward and write it, the code? So what we'll be doing? So okay, in the main function, it's already done. So I'll show you one more thing to you guys. I'll teach you one more thing. I can directly write this array of size, marks and all those stuff, but I'll be using one more thing to so that you learn lots of concepts you should learn. So that's why I use one more thing. That is, one more thing is what? I'll use macros. What macros is? Macros means hash. Suppose hash define, suppose I give size 5. It means what? This is called as what? Macros. M-A-C-R-O-S. Macros. It means what? We defined a size variable of, what is the size of it? 5. You can change the size 5 to 6, 7. Suppose let's take it 7. So it means size will never change. What is the use of it? Why we using it? So in the whole program, the size will never change. Okay, I'll tell you, when you going to do the mathematical problem, suppose. So pi value is fixed. That is 3.14, isn't it? Pi value is always fixed. So if someone, some point of the time in the program, he suppose updated pi value to something like by mistake. So that time the value will get changed and everything outcome will come it as what? Wrong, correct? So that time what we'll do? Define pi equals to 3.14 will write. Are you getting it? So that is the use of macro. So I want to give you this, I wanted to give you this concept. That's why I am writing this. Yes, yes. See, DSA is necessary not for full stack developer, for everyone. DSA is not only for full stack developers, it is for everyone, because these days recession is going on, guys. So if you know that without DSA, you will not be, given place in a company, because DSA is what? It's a problem solving thing. It's not a language. It's a basics of, programming. This is the DSA is what? Data structure and algorithm. Yes. What is the doubt you have, Jishan? We don't, see, we don't need the, index of the last element. So how we are get to know, that is already getting calculated. I'll tell you how. Suppose I defined an array of size 4. Last index will always be n minus 1, isn't it? Before we studied here, you see, if size is n, so we are initializing I equals to 0, correct? So that is the array size starting from 0. Okay. Now, what is the last index will be? If size of the array is n, last index will be n minus 1. If array size is, here I am defining, suppose here I am defining array size as 7. It means last index will be 6. N minus 1, because it is starting from 0. Okay, time is getting over. We have to do this, right? So what I'll do is I'll define an array. Suppose int arr. Suppose we want to, and what is that? Size. I'll give size variable name, because size has what? 7. Instead I can directly write 7 also, but I am trying to give you, different taste of it. Suppose 56, 78, 45, 34, 64. What is the 7 size is there, right? And 95 and 56, 23. Suppose this is the array of size 7. You can see from here also it's of size 7. Now I'll take variable as one element, and I'll take which position we want to enter. So that variable I also have to take position. So this is done. Suppose I want to enter in this position, in the first position, second position. I want to enter 100. So that I have to give position. And element is what? I want to give 100. So that is that element. So two variables I have to take, position and element. Now what I have to do? I'll write cout and I'll say enter the position where you want to enter the position of element. Suppose I want to enter in the position second, third, fourth, anywhere. So I'll say to the user, input दे दो भाई, जहाँ पर input में डालना है तुमको. So we'll say this thing. Now we'll do what? We'll take input from the user then. That what we'll say in the input कि position बता दो भाई and element बता दो कि क्या डालना है. Position बता दो and element बता दो. Now अगर किसी ने बोला कि 8th position is not there, correct, isn't it? So we should cover that edge cases also. For that edge cases will be covering in what? If else statement. So what we will be writing? I'll writing if. Why I'm writing this, you'll get to know. So if that is entered, print that, else say what? Cout invalid position entered. Else say what? Invalid position entered. It means what? Inside this if else statement will cover, like if suppose someone says I want to enter in 9th position, भाई 9th position है ही नहीं है इसमें, array size तो 7 का है, so we have to cover that edge case also. So that's why if someone is giving invalid position, so we have to print it as what? Invalid position, you cannot enter in that position. And inside if, what we'll be doing, how to confirm, we'll write position. When position is less than equals to size, it is necessary position need to be less than size. If size is 7, position need to be 7 or less, isn't it? And पोजीशन किसी ने नेगेटिव डाल दिया तो सो वी हैव टू कवर दैट थिंग ऑल्सो. खुराफात तो कर ही सकते हैं ना. सो विल डू व्हाट, पोजीशन को ग्रेटर देन 0 भी होना पड़ेगा. ये दोनों कंडीशन हुआ ना तभी वो प्रिंट करेगा. देख लो भाई. सो व्हाट आई डू, आई रन अ फॉर लूप. I'll run a for loop, and inside that for loop I'll start from where I said we'll start from. Suppose I want to enter the value. Suppose I want to enter the value here. So what we said, we start from the last, we start from the initialize from the last, and from here we just shift to the right side, one place to the right side, right? So that is what we trying to do right now. So I'll give int I equals to, what I'll give, I equals to size. What is the value of size? Value of size is 7. We already given. Either you write directly 7 or you can give size. So I try to show with macros. That's why writing size. Okay, great. I is equals to size and I greater than position, and I minus minus. डिक्रीमेंटेशन करते रहेंगे, पीछे से आते रहेंगे हम एक 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 करके. उसके बाद हम क्या करेंगे, उसके बाद हम करेंगे एरे, एरे ऑफ व्हाट, आई. उसको हम अपडेट करेंगे वैल्यू को, राइट. एरे ऑफ आई माइनस 1. शिफ्टिंग कर रहे हैं. दिस इज व्हाट shifting of elements in array. This is we just shifting. Now after everything gets shifted, that place get vacant. So what I have to do, I have to enter the value to it, isn't it? So what I'll be writing, array of position. That position will give the element. Element is assigned to the array of position. Correct. This is doing our task. So this will get values will get stored and everything will be done. Value is already stored here. This will give the value, but I have to print that thing also, isn't it? I have to do what? Print that also, isn't it? That if that is getting stored in there, between this or not. So for that, what we did for printing? For printing we did, you remember? For loop will run and see out of that array, isn't it? So that we did. From where to print? Arrays index start from 0. So what I have to run a for loop, and I'll take iterating variable as suppose I. Int I equals to 0. And I is less than equals to size. Correct. And I'll do I plus plus. Why I'm writing I less than equals to size? Here I didn't use I, when I printing here, here I use j less than 8, not less than equals to 8. Correct. Here why less? Because one place will get, when you enter one value, that is it has to iterate to the last element, that is less than equals to size. That's why less than equals to I have written. Now here I'll be doing print out. How to do print out? See out array of I. Array of I. I think this is the done, like this is the what? This is what you can say of printing the array or traversing the array. This one is what? This one is what? Entering the element in the array. Okay, if I run this code, okay, it's saying कौन सा पोजीशन में डालना चाहते हो. सपोज आई वांट टू एंटर इन दिस 45 पोजीशन. दिस इज व्हाट पोजीशन नंबर व्हाट. This is what position 1 2 3. Suppose I am to enter at third position. Now it is saying enter the position. Here you remember, enter the position of element, and I have to write enter the element also. Are you getting it? So here two input we are taking. That's why still if I write enter, no, that is still giving not output. So position we gave. Now it's asking for the element to give. Suppose I want to enter 100 at the third position, and if I print, okay, so what I have to do again, I have to give space to it. I have to give space to it. So then we'll get it. Okay, again we'll run it. Again we'll run it. At the third position I want to enter, suppose third position I entered 100. So 1 2 3 0 1 2. So it is getting this 100 is getting what entered in that position. If you see, our initial array was what 56 70 100 was not there. Now 100 is coming. Now what 100 is coming. Are you guys? Okay. Okay, great, guys. So loop, Kamil, loop is what? Loop is, loop. I already, if you know, in the initial part of the video when we did, so that time we learned about loop. Basically, loop. Yes. I am telling. Lots of people ask about loop. So loop is basically, to do things, again and again when it the things getting done, and again, and you don't have to use like multiple. You have to write for, print out multiple times. I'll here I've explained that thing. So loop is, suppose, okay, initial part of the video I showed. Here what I'm writing, loop I equals to 0, I less than size, right? It means size we have taken at 7. It means it will same thing, this same thing 7 बार चलेगा, 7 बार continuously will be running. So that is what loop, literal meaning of in English is, that is the meaning of loop. So you don't have to print here. If I don't use this thing, no, suppose I wouldn't have written this thing. So what I've, okay, I'll just control X. Okay, if I wouldn't have written this if, this statement, if I wouldn't have written this if statement, no, so what I have to do, no, I have to take this. Now if suppose I'll paste it here, suppose control. So if I wouldn't have written this if for loop, it means what I have to do, I have to do what, I have to write this way, this 7 times. अगर मैं वो लूप यूज ना कर रहा होता ना, ऐसे 7 बार मेरे को लिखना पड़ता, और मेरे को इसका जो इंडेक्स है ना उसको चेंज करना, इसका जो इसके अंदर इंडेक्स है उसको मेरे को हर बार चेंज करना पड़ता. तो समझ रहे हो एक वो फॉर लूप कितना अच्छा काम कर रहा है. ये फॉर लूप अगर मैं नहीं लिखता तो मेरे को ऐसे लिखना पड़ता. अगर ये फॉर लूप मैं नहीं लिखता तो मेरे को इतने बार, मेरे को ये 7 बार ऐसे करके लिखना पड़ता. So that is the what loop solves that problem. It means continuously same thing, going to happen. You have to update. So in the loop, what is happening? Initializing with size, I get greater than position. This is the condition, and here decrementing also. It means it is changing index also. But when you don't write loop, you have to write 7 times. After that, you have to take care of the indexes also. Whatever the updation is going on, you have to take care of that also. You see how many codes will be happening if some code is running till 100 times. So you have to write this 100 times. So if you write in loop, so that is doing computation will be doing inside the compiler wherever, but you don't have to care if you don't if you use loop. Otherwise you have to print this way, either do this way or do that way. So that's where the concept of loop came in. So we don't want to do every time that that many times. So that's why we did what, we got the concept of loop. So that is the basic thing of loop. Yes. Great. So this is what? This is the entering value. Okay, one more thing we'll see. One more, we covered this like invalid position. Suppose I run this and suppose I want to enter value at 10th position. Suppose मैं 10वें value में 10th position I want to enter and I want to enter 56. Okay, can I enter it? 10वां पोजीशन है ही नहीं, so it is saying what? Invalid position. 10th position is invalid. For 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 ही तक है, तुम 10 क्यों डाल रहे हो? That's why this if and else. If you write the wrong position, that will give what? Output as what? Invalid position. That's why we have written in if and else condition. So that is the end of, okay, one more thing I'll talk about. That is what? 2D array. 2D array is what? 2D array is basically nothing. Okay, I'll tomorrow I'll go forward with that 2D array. Today we'll end the session here. I don't want to make it take it to the further part. Tomorrow I'll give brief about 2D array, then we'll move forward with the stack, use, whatever, searching. I guess searching sorting is that tomorrow is the topic is searching sorting algorithm. We'll move forward with searching sorting algorithm. Okay, guys. So today we'll end the session here. Okay. Guys, you guys have to, like, if you want to get the, certificate of it, what you have to do? You have to go to the one link, and there after going there, you have to mark the attendance. And if you liked the session, if you have liked the session, you will give 10. And if you like, one more thing is, if you like the session, you have to give, whatever the marks you want to give. And if you're interested in, full stack program, you guys can write it there. Okay, great, guys. Great. So we'll end the session here, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet tomorrow with the searching sorting thing, so we can end it here today. Okay, great. Akansha, we are good to end the session.